Hello, I'm Azai. Welcome back to Tokyo Necro. I just took a short break, a very short break, made my protein shake, went to the bathroom, and I am back. And for you guys on YouTube, you guys might be wishing that I did 2-hour episodes on this instead of an hour 30 minutes because that was a very rough cliffhanger. So I do apologize about that. I don't like doing cliffhangers, but if I were to like continue the scene, this is gonna be at least an extra 30 minutes or so. But yeah, last time we found out what the hell a subcon is. Iria also mentions that she has regained her memory. And yeah, there's like a bombing that happened in the Tokyo Megafloat. And right now, I assume this is Ryoko, but it might be someone different, so we'll see. She regains consciousness in a filthy room. The camera slowly zooms out from an extreme close-up of her eyes.
私
You good? Ryoko looks at her own image projected on a holographic display. She can faintly make out the camera lens beyond her frightened face. She's being recorded. A profound sense of disgust runs through her immobilized body.
私に何を
The holographic display zooms out again. Her head, neck, shoulders, chest, arms, and lower body are all bound to a chair. Just like a prisoner awaiting execution by electric chair.
楽しんでいましたね。何の話 システムの再起動に間に合ったのは良好でした。
What the fuck? Her eyes open wide on the other side of the camera.
あなたはラボラトリーの一人ね。そう。時高くんが武器を修理しに外へ出た後、あなたが
So this is after the H scene with Tokitaka.
秋夫の事務所で教え子のペレスを加え込むのは背徳感がありましたが。
His tone is indifferent, as if he's simply reading off a report. Somehow, this makes it all the more infuriating.
あなたに私の何がわかるの
So this is just a flashback, eh?
わかりますよ。あなたが愛なく自分の教え子と交わり、慰み者としていること。夫の復讐のために守るべき部下を危険にさらしていること。そんなこ今も
Oh, sorry.
から進みかつ愛しているのです。だから自分の教え子からの愛に応えられない。だから危険を知りつつミルグラム様の足跡を追いかける。私は
The man's words dig deep into Ryoko. She mustn't show weakness, she knows that. But she's tied up in an unfamiliar place, unable to offer any resistance. She cannot hide the trembling in her voice.
だってもう一括さんはいないのいないんだものそれもあなたの心持ち次第です
Who is this mysterious voice? It might be Pavlov, but we don't know. He did say master, so this can't be Milgram himself.
心持ち次第
Oh, sorry. An arm comes out of this from off screen and tugs on Ryoko's hair. Her hair slides right off, exposing her scalp. She looks like a completely different person, but without a doubt, it's Kara Suzumi Ryoko herself.
あなたが気を失っている間に準備をしておきました。髪の毛はすべて取り除き、ウィッグに仕立ててあります。
どうしてそんなことを。
So they're showing this because this is probably gonna lead to Ryoko, the one that actually bombed the place, right?
こうするためです。
He places his hands on her head as if opening the lid of a jewelry box. His thick fingers gently pull up, exposing the contents inside. Well, that's certainly gruesome. The scalp, the skull, and the meninges, everything protecting Ryoko's brain comes clean off. From her forehead to the occipital suture.
嘘でしょ。
脳に痛覚はありません。切開した頭皮などの痛みは限定麻酔の制御下にあります。自分の脳をリアルタイムで確認した気分はどうです？
Ryoko's eyes open wide as she stares in shock at the contents of her own head displayed on the monitor. Her brain pulsates, covered in a thin red ooze.
脳を保護する髄膜は酸素あります。重要な血管を特殊ジェルで保護しつつ、硬膜と雲膜を頭蓋骨ごと剥ぎ取ります。あとは何膜ですね。うまくですね。脳に張り付いていますから、必要に応じて何膜を切り取りながら、レーザー熱とマイクロマシンで脳に手を加えます。 さて、
This is so creepy. A cross-section view and 3D model of the brain are shown on screen.
大脳皮質の外側に人間の指を曲げたような部位があります。海馬です。これと側頭葉の一部を傷つけると、新しい記憶が長く続かなくなります。一度傷つけたら、手術で元に戻さないように神経溶接を行う。するとあなたは、さっきまでとは別の人間になります。自分が別の人間になったことさえ忘れてしまうのです。
So yeah, they're basically trying to make her forget what happened here. The laser scalpel thrusts at Ryoko's brain.
扁桃体と視床下部にこの小さなチップを突き刺せば、特定の因子に不安障害やパニック発作を引き起こします。男のペニスを見た途端、嘔吐するようにすることも簡単ですね。もっと単純なやり方でも構いません。意識ははっきりしているのに、体が全く動かない。耳も聞こえる、目も見える。言いたいことは思い浮かぶ。でも、体が全く動かない。脳をちょいちょいと傷つけるだけで、そうなります。
やれるならやってみればいいじゃない。
Don't think you really should provoke him, Ryoko.
私は何があってもあなたたちを許さない。絶対に絶対に。
これはどうです？
Surgical manipulators come in from the sides. The sharp metal tips move gracefully towards their target like forks approaching a plate stacked with dessert. They push into the soft brain tissue and pull it open. Fluids leak as a small cavity is formed. At that moment, tears start spilling out of Ryoko's eyes.
なんでこんなこと嘘でしょ。どうしてこれは幻よね。一括さん。
So... Are we seeing that? Wow, yes. Where did we get that? Where did we get that holographic cube? Captain Nagisa vomits, unable to hold it in. She puts up a tough front, but she lacks experience. If only I could have taken her to the rainforests of Malaysia. Major General Kibanohara Hokuyasu thinks to himself, she ought to have made a fine student.
渚隊よく見つけたな。
はい、ありがとうございます。
Where did she get this? After the battle at the Nihonbashi River, a holographic cube was recovered alongside part of a skull. Judging by where they were found, they had fallen from the roof of the old Yatsukoshi flagship store. So this is right after the fight with Pavlov. So I assume this is after Pavlov died. So that guy was Pavlov, who was experimenting on Ryoko. Recorded on a holographic cube was a video of Kara Suzumi Ryoko being tortured. The format was exactly the same as that of the video the vice governor recovered from Tokyo Bay. Hokuyasu is now convinced he understands Milgram's true intentions. His conviction set, he calls out to the woman at his side.
行くぞ、議長。
断る権利はないのだろう。
カラスズミと仲間ごっこがしたければそうすればいい。
けど。
After that final remark, Hokuyasu leaves the room. The frustrated Mitsumi and the still nauseous Kazuma follow behind. I have no idea what Milgram wants to do. An explosion rings out the moment the needle starts sinking into my finger. The intense shockwave knocks both me and Yamanuma to the floor. The light from the surrounding buildings disappear, leaving the faint green light of the flexible veins the only source of illumination. Man, they really want you to not know whether Son is a living dead or not, even though his heart is already pierced. What was that explosion? Or then again, he already said that it didn't hurt him as much as it did previously, so we know that Son is a living dead. Was it Milgram? Here, in the Mega Float, with the advanced Aegis system providing complete protection from the outside world. Is that even possible? It's only when Tokitaka mutters that name that I realize something. Ryoko has vanished from the room. Did the explosion? Wait, no. I haven't seen her since Yamanuma first came into the room. Yamanuma draws his handgun and runs out of the room. We follow close behind him. Dust drifts through the air. A scorched smell fills the area. The explosion seems to have happened in the room where we had an audience with Sophia Kawarazaki. Judging by how the power is out, the advanced Aegis system may be down.
お前たちは部屋で待っていろ。
ふざけるな。涼子さんは俺たちの味方。
だからだ。
Kagekatsu points his gun at us without hesitation.
おい、涼子さんは被害者。
A gunshot from afar drowns out Tokitaka's voice. We immediately run for cover in the hallway. Someone picks up an SAD rifle off the floor.
涼子さん。
みんな。
早くこっちへ。
Yamanuma ignores Tokitaka and shoots Ryoko. The AP bullet grazes her shoulder. And out drips dusky red blood, the mark of the living dead.
涼子さん。
時高くん。命令よ。
Shit, Tokitaka's not gonna be able to... Oh, fuck you, Tokitaka.
私を殺して。
What the? She still actually is able to talk. I thought she was gonna make Tokitaka fight us. Ryoko lets down her hair. I guess she can't control her body, but she can... she still has her thoughts. Muzzle flashes light up the darkness. I leap to cover Tokitaka as he stands there dumbfounded. I feel a slight impact, but my bulletproof coat protects me. Yamanuma immediately returns fire. Ryoko's body takes countless bullets, dusky red blood spraying out of her wounds. Nevertheless, she continues to fire at us as she leaps into a flexible vein. Tokitaka slumps to the floor, unable to believe what he's just seen. Obviously, I'm in shock too. But that's all the more reason that we need to make sure Iria's safe.
Sophia-sama! 無事なのですね。
The tension in Yamanuma's face relaxes ever so slightly.
イリア
Kagekatsu nods.
はい。今すぐ私もそちらに。
Man, this is intense right now. That's the reason why, like, my narration is actually going that much faster.
いや、しかし。はい。わかりました。
Yamanuma hangs up. His composure is restored. He wears the face of ASAD's commanding officer once more. If Sophia and Aria are in the underground core, then we first need to ensure their safety. Once that's done, we can try to get a grasp on the situation. A fierce wind whips through the room. It's like a completely different world compared to the last time we were here. It seems the explosion was big enough to disable the life material. Its automatic repair function hasn't kicked in yet. Near the entrance, an SAD soldier leans against the wall, half of his body blown off. His combat uniform is automatically stopping the bleeding, but his vital signs indicate it's only a matter of time before he dies. Yamanuma completely ignores the soldier and heads deeper into the room. The SAD soldier mutters deliriously as he fades away. I stop to listen to him. Man, the future is fucked, dude. What the fuck? They can actually put stuff inside of your brain now? Hiding weapons inside the body is an old trick. Our bodies were checked when we entered the Megafloat. Normally, every molecule of our body would be thoroughly inspected, but the inspection was cut short due to the urgent nature of our visit. That was what Milgram was trying to do. Damn, Pavlov dying was actually part of his plan too. They want us to go straight to the Tokyo Megafloat without checking everyone. The check still should have been thorough enough to detect any conventionally hidden weapon. But inside the head isn't an item on the checklist. Even living dead require brains to function. For most necromancers, it's difficult to tamper with the brain while maintaining the living dead's functionality. No one outside of the laboratory would seriously consider such an option. Goodbye, Bobby. With those final words of regret, the SAD soldier's vital signs vanish. And in his place, Yamanuma returns. Electronic parts can be seen flying in all directions on the other side of the collapsed wall.
Sophia-sama, 復旧は不可能です。
Yamanuma can't hide the worry in his voice. The Tokyo Megafloat's infrastructure is founded on the premise that the AAS is an impregnable wall of defense. If you can shut off the AAS, then the Tokyo Megafloat becomes a defenseless floating island. I finally realized the truth. Iria herself was never their target. They use her as a Trojan horse, so they could sneak a hi-fi past the Megafloat's security. Yeah, this was all still part of the plan.
お前が仕組んでいたのか
Tokitaka looks down upon the disabled Megafloat. Rising up from the sea, hordes of living dead advance on its shores. And at the vanguard of the charge is... Milgram. Damn, this is really getting tense. The top floor of EEC headquarters explodes, spewing black smoke. Immediately, the surroundings go dark. The luciferin passing through the flexible veins provides some degree of illumination, but visibility is low. We must be in Ethica's perspective right now.
どうしたの？AS が 解除された。
なんで？誰が？イリアちゃんたちは？
戻りましょう。
I nod and hop onto the return lane. Let's get in touch with Ryoko and see what's going on. No response. This is not good. No, I've got to keep it together. I'll call Soen.
もしもし、エチカか。
よかった。そっちは無事？
落ち着いて聞いてくれ。端的に言う。涼子さんがリビングデッドになっていた。爆発を起こして AAS を破壊したのは涼子さんだ。
My mind goes blank. You're kidding me, right? I know Ryoko. There's been no sign of anything out of the ordinary with her. But you're telling me she's a living dead too? Not just Soen? This must be some sort of a sick joke. But I know better than anyone that Soen doesn't make jokes like this.
さっきここからミルグラムの姿が見えた。ビルに向かっている。
So I think Soen was also reanimated by Milgram too, huh? Milgram. Hearing that name snaps me back to reality. I empty my head of unnecessary thoughts. My purpose is to slay my opponents. Nothing more, nothing less.
了解。私らもそっちに。
エチカちゃん。
I look up when I hear Kiri's voice. Corpses. Corpses everywhere. There's a dead energy elite lying on the conveyor belt, stabbed through the chest. And he's not alone. As far as the eye can see, there are energy elite corpses littered about the pathways.
マジかよ。
We stare in shock as we look down on the path for the source of the dead bodies. Damn, a centaur this time? A grotesque man-horse hybrid gallops toward us from afar. Gotta say, these hi-fis look fucking ridiculously good. They actually look menacing, you know? In its hand is a giant spear. And it's no ordinary spear, let me tell you. The design is nuts. It's got what looks like two rifles attached to the backside. I gotta admit, I kinda like it though.
ミルグラムのハイファイリビングデッド。
だろうね。
The quadruped swings its rifle spear at a nearby energy elite. The spear goes straight through his heart. Instant death for sure. The energy elite falls powerlessly onto the conveyor belt, but...
生きてる。
違う。
I guess his spear is like injecting Lemurs. Okay, he wasn't dead groaning. I don't need a suggestion to tell me that that's a lo-fi groan. And he's not the only one getting back up. All around us, bodies start to rise, fixing us with empty gazes.
夢じゃないよな。
Necromancers need to at least inject the corpse with Lemurs if they want to make it into a living dead. But there's no way all these corpses were injected with it.
レムレースガス。あのハイファイの銅がガスプラントになってる。
Okay. So not the spear itself, but part of his body. No time for bitching and moaning. I activate my X-Brain, and yup, it's reached the same conclusion. Lemur's gas. It came up in the video we watched earlier. Kiri's mom died in an experiment involving it. But it looks like that's not the only connection we've got to this thing.
やれやれだぜ。
Don't think any unnecessary thoughts. Don't think. Do. It's that simple. I don't trust my X-Brain. I think that might be Michiya. Because it was showing like a human icon. And I think the icon resembles Michiya. Its suggestion can eat shit, accurate or not. My purpose is to slay that quadrupedal bastard. Nothing more, nothing less. The Sagittarius breaks into a gallop. No way I'm letting this fucker get away.
エチカちゃん。
足手まといだ。
I shout at Kiri when she starts running after me. Sorry, but I can't focus on both protecting you and fighting him.
武器もないのに勝てないよ。
Man, Milgram is like everything is going according to his plan so far. I feel like I fucked up big time with that choice. Both my ex-brain and Kiri are against what I'm about to do. But Kiri has to understand. If we just sit back and watch, then all of the civilians in the megafloat will be turned into living dead. But if I can keep the Sagittarius distracted, then Kiri will be able to lead the energy elites to safety.
私、死体を殺すのが生きがい。でもキリ姉は、みんなの命を守るのが仕事だよね。そのためには、辛い判断だって受け入れなきゃ。でも、それが親父の正しさでしょ。
Without turning back, and without giving her a chance to respond, I change conveyor belt lanes. It doesn't look like Kiri is going to chase after me anymore. The distance grows between us. I know what I said wasn't fair. But Kiri's stubborn. I had to pry her off of me somehow. I know I've made the right decision.
正しいんだよ、バカ。
I curse at my ex-brain, hair whipping in the wind. Ethica cuts out mid-conversation, and in her place, I hear Major Aso's voice instead. As per her request, I add Yamanuma and Sophia to the channel.
ハイファイがレムレースガスを使用しているのを確認しました。街はクールで溢れています。
レムレースガス。
市民の避難を。
ミルグラムの確保が先だ。避難に割く戦力は。
避難を。
Yamanuma briefly falls silent.
AAS の補助もなく全市民を避難させるなど不可能だ。この短期間での連携は。
He's right. I actually agree with Yamanuma on this.
軍警察の汎用簡易作戦支援ソフトを共有します。
Major Aso immediately sends the program over.
クロスプラットフォームで最低限のスペックで動作します。混戦に強く単独での推論機能も強力です。AAS ほど高機能ではありませんが、避難なら支障ありません。
Being able to quickly and efficiently direct crowds is essential for the day-to-day operations of the military police. The Energy Elite lack the same expertise due to their reliance on the AAS.
避難指示に協力を要請する。はい。
Major Aso replies without hesitation, but Yamanuma objects.
敵はミルグラムです。それでは戦力が。
そこにいるだろう。
はい。
We're living dead stalkers, anti-necromancer specialists. Exactly the manpower Yamanuma needs. Furthermore, I fought with Milgram in the past. I still don't know whether, like, Son is Milgram's hi-fi or someone in the military polices. If it's someone in the military police, it might be actually Ethica's dad.
彼らに武器を。
Without further objection, Yamanuma performs a multi-flick gesture. Within 20 seconds, the wall's life material opens up, revealing an artificial membrane. Inside, there are the weapons they had confiscated from us. My real eliminators, and my ex-brain, and Tokitaka's Ogasawara TFD-20. Flexible veins run through the Tokyo Megafloat just like the hot pipes in Tokyo proper. And thus, whatever you want is an arm's length away, wherever and whenever you want.
行くぞ。
Ever a man of few words, Yamanuma indicates he'll take the lead. We'll regroup with Iri and Sophia on the ground floor. I start following after Yamanuma, but...
時高、お前は？
やり残したことがある。
He's gonna kill Ryoko, isn't he? Can you do it, though? Can you do it, Tokitaka? Tokitaka stays put. His Ogasawara TFD-20 in hand.
頼む。そう。
Ichihara Tokitaka does not miscalculate. You won't find a better sniper. His senses are keen and his timing precise. If he's decided to stay back, then that's the optimal plan of action. I trust him. I give Tokitaka a nod and exit the room. I board an elevator with the surviving SAD members. It's obvious simply from the way they carry themselves that they're highly trained elites. They understand exactly what sort of opponent they're preparing to go up against. A heavy silence envelops the room. Time seems frozen as the elevator makes its odd, bubbling hum. Unable to contain myself, I decide to open a private communications line with Iria. But I stop the multi-flick gesture midway. I don't know how to tell Iria what needs to be said. She was so attached to Ryoko. I worry that she'll blame herself if she learns what happened to her. No, that's not all. Ryoko's not the only one who's changed. They say the living dead experience a deterioration of emotions. And yet, I'm in anguish right now. How do I tell her? Can I tell her? If I were just to lose all my emotions now, would I be free from this anguish? I put on my X-Brain. It's like I'm putting on a mask. The elevator stops at a different place than when we first came here. Live material is a type of smart material, so it can freely change its shape in response to electric stimulus. Hence the flexible and flexible vein. We wait for the order to change. I can hear Living Dead rampaging on the other side of the wall.
お前は黙って見ていろ。余計な人間に手出しされると連携が取れない。
Yamanuma's tone is firm. He opens the wall with a multi-flick gesture. Muzzle flashes light up the dim lobby. Holy shit, they're going all out. They're not just putting, ghouls anymore. Waiting there is a large group of heavily armed living dead. There are some tank-class living dead mixed in too. 10 living dead in total. On our side, there are 8 SAD members, including Kagekatsu. That's roughly 1 versus 1. An honestly discouraging matchup. But the SAD members are capable. Even without the support of the AES, they move in unison like cells of a singular organism. Conversely, the movements of the living dead are by no means coordinated. They simply point their guns at anything that moves and fire without thinking. In any other environment, that would suffice. It should be impossible for a living human to dodge a barrage of bullets shot by a hi-fi remodeled for combat. But this is Empire Energy Corp's main headquarters. SAD has a little home court advantage. A barricade rises from the floor, intercepting the enemy's barrage. And when the SAD members thrust out their assault rifles, the walls shift and form eyelets around the muzzles, allowing for a one-sided volley. As the SAD force advances, their cover moves with them. Ever so gradually, they encircle the enemy. Wow, that's broken. Individually, they may be no match for the Hi-Fi Living Dead, but as a collective unit, they demonstrate overwhelming power. The life material is the Aegis protecting them. One down, and another. The Hi-Fi Living Dead fall one by one. If they keep up the charge, then they should be able to push through. The only problem is their supply of weaponry. The heavily armed and tank-class Living Dead are resistant to gunfire. I'm worried they'll run out of ammunition if they continue fighting like this.
心配はいらない。
Yamanuma speaks calmly as he supervises his troops, performing multi-flick gestures in rapid succession.
今、木場の原エチカにも届けた。
I break out into a mad dash as I chase after the Sagittarius. While that bastard's got a mobility advantage thanks to its 4 legs, I've got the moving walkways and the support of my X-Brain, which seems to have given up on spamming alerts. I hate to rely on this thing, but the situation calls for it. I'd rather not try to navigate the convoluted mess that is the Megafloat without its help. I leap off the conveyor belt and reach what appears to be a park. One problem, I've got no weapons. Not even I'm crazy enough to fight that thing empty-handed. Ugh. Is there anything around me that even resembles a weapon? Hey, I'm kind of busy here. I look in the direction indicated. Lo and behold, the ground rises up, and out from an artificial membrane comes my rabbit punch.
マジで？
届いたか。
届いたけど、これは夢？
警備ロボの分もありったけ送る。
ありったけって。
The life material comprising, there you go, the walkway begins to shift form. And out come assault rifles, grenade launchers, shotguns, anti-tank guns, anti-material rifles, etc, etc. So like, he just sent me a weapon buffet via the flexible veins. Holy shit, I'm drooling at all these juicy options. I hate that bastard's guts, but credit where credit is due. I shoulder the nearest anti-tank missile launcher and bask in its glorious weight. Okay, let's do this. I take aim at the Sagittarius. Ready.
Fire!
A back blast spits out of the launcher as the optic and infrared guided missile flies out. The dazzling light and shockwave strike the Sagittarius as it turns around. Now, if this guy's as beastly as he looks, it's gonna take more than that to take him down. Sure enough, the Sagittarius leaps into the air, emerging from the smoke. I ready the next anti-tank missile launcher. One and done. Fire away! Hip hip hooray! You're crazy, Azaikyousuke. I fired a second missile at the Hi-Fi as it's defenseless in midair, unable to regain its bearings. Bam! The Sagittarius tries to curl up and dodge the attack, but with a body like that, curling up can only do so much. The Hi-Fi pitifully tumbles onto the ground. And I fire away at it with a grenade launcher. Bam, bam, bam! Several satisfying explosions send life material scattering in all directions. Once I'm out of ammo, it's time for the main dish, my rabbit punch. I rev up the ultra-hard polycrystalline diamond tooth chain and charge at the Sagittarius with it. I thrust with all my might. He's the one who just had a full course meal, but I'm feeling a little full myself. Maybe I overdid it just a little. A rifle spear slams into my body, blowing me back. How the fuck is he still moving? More than just moving, too. The Sagittarius rushes in and stabs me in the shoulder with its bayonet. I can feel it stab deep. It got that far through my bulletproof coat? Holy shit! As I struggle to pull it out, the Sagittarius brandishes its spear and hurls the Ethica Bob away. What the hell is the Ethica Bob? I tumble onto the live material pavement and crash into a tree on the side of the road before I can stop myself. With a victory screech, the Sagittarius points its rifle spear at me. God damn! Yeah, this guy's a monster alright. I ignore the pain in my skewered shoulder and get up. A smile plays across my lips. I think I know exactly what sort of monster I'm dealing with. The suggestion my ex-brain is giving me is frankly preposterous, but my intuition is backing it up, and my intuition doesn't lie. Which means the best weapon to square off with that Sagittarius is... I rev up my trusty partner and feel its pleasant vibrations. After I parted ways with the old man and moved in at the Karasuzumi Living Dead Stalker Agency, this was the first weapon I laid my hands on that wasn't a re-eliminator. I rush through the park with a war cry. The Sagittarius gives me an almost deviant look as it lowers its hips to prepare for my attack. On the other side of the gas mask, I see the smile of a beast driven by the instinct to fight. They say a lion will use all its strength even when hunting a rabbit, right? Well, bring it on, pussycat. My rabbit punch is about to spit some fire. The narration when doing like Ethica's perspective is so nice during the battles. She got some spunk on her narration, unlike Soen's. Sparks fly as rabbit punch and the spear clash. We exchange shots at point-blank distance. Explosive shocks caused by the boron gunpowder graze my shoulder. Rabbit punch's ultra-hard polycrystalline diamond blade brushes against the Sagittarius's elbow. If I'm going to trust my ex-brain, it's at times like this. I don't use re-eliminators, but CQAMA forms the basis of my melee fighting style. Neither of us have lethal wounds. And in fact, I'm getting pushed back here. But this feels pretty great. I like it. Brings me back. But I'm no longer the little Etika who always gets beat. I swing Rabbit Punch down at the ground, tearing through a flexible vein. Sending me soaring into the air along with the spewing liquid. The glowing green substance temporarily blinds the Sagittarius. You're mine. As the Sagittarius starts bucking like a rodeo bull, I grab a hold of his torso with my thighs and hammer Rabbit Punch into the back of his head. In a flash, the ultra-high polycrystalline diamond teeth bite through his armor. Told you I'm a little stronger now. Bullets fly at my body from an unexpected direction. Thanks to my bulletproof coat, the damage itself is minimal. But it shakes me enough to loosen my thigh hold, which the Sagittarius takes as an opportunity to go hog wild. Still in disbelief, I get tossed aside. I snap Rabbit Punch into the ground to stop my momentum and look in the direction the gunshots came from. Must be Ryoko, right? Yup.
涼子さんごめんねエチカちゃん
Ryoko's face contorts as she points her gun at me. My ex-brain determines that she's already a corpse. You expect me to re-kill her, you motherfucker? Gunshots ring out as I leap into a nearby thicket. I don't want to believe it, but this is reality. Ryoko's shooting at me. I desperately hold back my tears as I run from the incoming barrage of bullets. Run, run, run. Eventually, the gunfire stops. I peek out from behind a tree to survey the situation. Tokitaka, we need you! Ryoko and the Sagittarius quietly face each other. The emotion in Ryoko's gaze is not that of a living dead. Looks like these shitty fucking glasses were right. The Sagittarius picks up Ryoko and runs off with her in its arms. I can't chase after them. If anyone can take those two on, it's...
時高聞こえるか獲物お前に譲るよできるか
やるさアンチマテリアルライフルに祝福あれ
We'll find out soon enough whether or not he can shoot. I'm counting on you, Tokitaka. The ground suddenly starts to shake, interrupting my prayers. An earthquake? Hell no. As if. We're floating on the ocean, hence megafloat. An earthquake wouldn't shake us, would it? I mean, there are earthquakes in, you know, like in the bottom of the ocean, and that causes tsunamis. I try to connect my Conry to check what's going on, but I'm taken aback by the sight before my eyes. What the fuck is going on? The gentle green glow of the liquid in the flexible veins has become an unsettling deep red. The liquid leaks out here and there, making it look like the whole town's bleeding. Now that I get a better look, the white walls of the buildings in the distance are crumbling, with several buildings starting to slant.
やべえ
I pick up a call on my Conry without checking who it's from.
牙の原エチカかソフィア
It's a call from none other than the administrator of the collapsing megafloat. And in the background of the call, I can hear some intense gunfire.
お前に運んでもらいたいものがある
Damn it, these, like, changing perspective is really cliffhangerish, you know? Yamanuma's trump card was the flexible veins. With them, he can transmit an endless stream of supplies. With overwhelming firepower and the support of life material barricades, the SAD members push back the living dead.
対リビングデッド戦闘のウィークポイントは弾薬の不足だ。補給が尽きなければ物量で圧倒すればいいだけだ。
You're not wrong. 3, 4, 5. Hi-Fi Living Dead fall one by one as white clouds of smoke fill the area. With the enemy numbers halved, this SAD force moves in to settle things, launching an attack from several different directions at once. It looks like there really was no need for me to step in after all. I receive a call on my connery. I turn my line of sight as indicated by my X-Brain and find Iria hiding underneath the stairs leading down from the hall. Sofia Kawarazaki is beside her. Without waiting for a response, I jump into the middle of the firefight. With a multi-flick gesture, Yamanuma removes any obstacles from my path. I rush through the hall and reach Iria's side.
Iria, 怪我は
サブコンが助けてくれたから。
サブコンが
Iria looks at me with sadness in her eyes. The tone graph sways violently as it projects from the conry on her finger.
街が沈むから早く逃げろって。なんとか阻止しようとしてるけど、もう止められないって。
街が沈む。
真実だ。
Sophia speaks matter-of-factly, stifling her rage with a cold hard truth. Her eyes open wide, fixing on the giant water tank in the center of the hall. That's when it happens. So does this count as a code red? The tank's contents become corrupted. The green liquid filling the giant water tank, the very symbol of the Tokyo Megafloat, suddenly changes color. Dusky red, the color of death. A man calmly stands beside the tank filled with death. An intense quaking rattles the building. With the Hi-Fi Living Dead wiped out, the situation should have been under control. The SAD members are visibly shocked by the sudden shaking. Milgram lands with a roaring crash, making a dent in the life material floor with the weight of his anti-armor suit. The SAD members are quick to react. As soon as they realize that they're facing Milgram, they all start firing at once. But Milgram's reaction time is even quicker. With an explosive shockwave, he kicks off the ground. In the blink of an eye, he's within point-blank range of an SAD soldier. See? They use "un" on SAD soldier. Fuck you. I knew that was a typo. Not so much as batting an eye at the gun pointed at him, Milgram deflects a bullet with his armored elbow, tackles the soldier, and rams him against the wall in one clean motion. The soldier's body is crushed between Milgram's anti-armor suit and the life material wall. His innards spew out from his mouth like water from a shower head. Every remaining soldier fires simultaneously. But by the time that happens, Milgram is already gone. He kicks off the wall with enough force to deform the life material as he heads directly for his next victim. The reason why this is not in 3D is probably because they don't want to animate all those, jobbers. Probably once the fight is one-on-one, it's gonna be 3D again. Milgram moves with inhuman speed. The SAD soldier dies before he can even perceive the enemy's approach. He defeats two soldiers with a single lariat. He stabs another two soldiers in the throat with his side pistols. He hurls their bodies with incredible force, striking another soldier. Before she can recover from the impact, he's eliminated her. This is what sheer utter domination looks like. I think I said this when we first met Milgram, but you'd think that maybe even when we were facing Tang Yunshan, you'd think that necromancers would be very weak. But these guys are fucking chads, man. The last surviving soldier runs out of ammo and starts to panic, crawling desperately as he approaches out towards a flexible vein. But the polluted red pipe presents no weapons. Milgram points his sight pistol at the soldier. Yamanuma immediately performs a multi-flick gesture. 4 life material barricades rise to shield the soldier. Milgram lowers his sight pistol and chops at the barricade with a knife-handed strike. His fingertips penetrate through the life material. Milgram pulls out a bloodstained hand. That's the attack that killed me. I'm sorry, Iria. I activate my micro portable printer. I can't let this go. I've got a score to settle with him. But
どうして
I don't have time to explain things right now.
長岡総雲
He didn't say be gone, what the?
お前に用はない
Oh, there we go.
こっちにはある。
He still didn't say be gone, though. Though the second part of the sentence is right. Milgram stole something precious from me. Something I had to take back.
まあいい最後の余興だ
Milgram's voice drips with pity. An especially violent quake acts as the signal gun. There we go. I kick off the shaking ground, closing the distance between us in a flash. Milgram calmly meets my attack. We exchange fire and cross blades. We go back and forth with no fear, no hesitation, no holds barred. Our bodies are close enough to touch each other, the distance that anti-living dead combatants specialize in. I grip a re-eliminator in each hand. Milgram grips a side pistol in each of his. Our fighting styles are similar. The difference is in strength. With his anti-armor suit, Milgram is capable of using force that far surpasses human limits. I dodge and parry his blades, weaving my way through gaps in his stance to counterattack. Neither of us will concede. This isn't a battle where others can interfere.
悪くないだが気を逸したな
Milgram shifts up a gear. What is this, One Piece? He moves even faster, leading me by the nose with his dancing side pistols. I can't keep up with him. Becoming a living dead has dulled my reactions. But there are some benefits that come with it. His imposing anti-armor suit affording him mighty power. His merciless fingertips with which he pierced my heart. Milgram is a terrifying opponent, and yet I feel no fear. Have I gained the confidence to overcome it? Or have I simply lost the ability to even feel fear? A flexible vein falls from the ceiling, smashing apart the life material floor. The deep red liquid flowing inside splashes everywhere. As Milgram avoids the debris, I rush towards him. Trusting in my X-Brain, I take advantage of the fact that I no longer need to worry about damage to my body, and go for the riskiest option possible. I cut through the liquid and slice with my muzzle spike. When the spike stabs into Milgram's torso, I fire rapidly with my re-eliminator. His anti-armor suit cracks ever so slightly. I see that typo though. More. I keep the pressure up, rushing Milgram. Milgram kicks the collapsed body of an SAD soldier into my path. It's too late to save him. My X-Brain instructs me to shoot him out of the way. But I can't. I know that hesitation will spell my doom. My X-Brain instructs me to dodge the hurled body, but I react too late. I tumble to the floor, taking the full force of the impact. I get up and try to regain my bearing as I ready my re-eliminators. But then, I feel a metallic thump on the back of my head through my X-Brain.
動くな
Milgram thrusts the muzzle of his side pistol against the back of my head. I am a living dead. If he destroys my brain, it's all over. Iria starts to rush toward us, but I hold out my hand to stop her. Am I going to make her sad? My heart can no longer feel guilt.
死体にしてはよくやった
Is he the one that made us? I don't know. I don't think so. How does he know that we're... Well, he killed us, so of course he knows. Milgram is like a messenger for the god of the dead.
お前の父長岡武之に免じて死の安らぎを与えようさらばだ
Yeah, we shoot through ourselves. I was gonna say, we haven't used our printer yet. And we directly use our printer at the start of battle. So I kind of knew this was coming. I point a re-eliminator at my chest and pull the trigger. The armor-piercing bullet shoots straight through my already pierced heart, right at Milgram. Taking him completely by surprise, the bullet hits Milgram directly in the torso. I won't get another chance. I unleash my close quarters arm martial arts while he's still reeling. My X-Brain nullifies his counterattacks. Right, left, down, up. I fire at point-blank range to prevent him from moving as I get up. Shoot his hands, shoot his knees, shoot his elbows, shoot his torso. Overwhelm him completely. Block off every route of escape. Don't pause for even a second. I don't care if the final fire of life in my heart burns out. The time for payback is now. Milgram collapses beneath my relentless assault. I load a bullet directly into the chamber of my re-eliminator. An action that's second nature to me. The printed bullet is a high-power explosive round, certain to destroy the brain if shot directly into the head. A guaranteed kill, precluding any chance of the body being resurrected as a living dead. I'm going to settle our score, Milgram.
やらないのか
Milgram's question blows against the dim flame of emotion still burning in my heart. He called this a performance at the beginning. Have I simply been playing into his hand?
死ぬ気だったのか。
私はスーサイドワナビズ。しかるべき死を迎え入れることこそ悲願だ。
But you want to take everyone along with you, right?
すでにそれはネクロポリス計画で果たされている。
A scheme of Milgram's. Details unknown? Come on! I guess you're gonna get the details as you progress through other stories and you slowly fill in this trivia. What the fuck?
お前の死には何の意味がある
Milgram looks far into the distance, somewhere I cannot see. A welcome death. A meaningful death. Whatever's left of my heart wavers ever so slightly. But only slightly. See ya, dude. My job is to kill corpses. That was the meaning of my life. Yeah, I'm actually kind of happy that there's no choice there. I do want to kill him even if there was a choice, though. The reason Sophia contacted me is clear. The park that I chased that Sagittarius is right in front of the Tokyo Institute of Infectious Diseases. Located inside the park of the Tokyo Megafloat, established in order to research a cure for Mare. In this situation, she'll take all the help she can get. Honestly, I've never been a fan of Sophia. Whenever I see her dumb face projected on those street holograms, I think, wow, shady as fuck. In person though, I guess she doesn't seem that bad. More importantly, this request seems like it's meant to protect people's lives. I'm already treading a thin line with Kiri. I can't do anything else that'll make her mad. I guess we're supposed to extract the vaccine or cure that's being developed in this park. Or in that institute. I head inside the Tokyo Institute of Infectious Diseases and shout into the darkness, but to no response. They must have evacuated. I've got no idea how earthquake-resistant they make these buildings on the Megafloat. Biohazards are no joke, so let's get this over with quick. Most of the flexible veins are already corrupted, but this facility must have a standalone system, as the water's still green here. Sophia's given me authorization. I punch in the code as instructed, and in seconds, the thing I'm here for arrives. A glass container filled with a glistening purple liquid. The word scavenger is scrawled in magic marker in the metal frame. Scavenger, meaning an animal that consumes dead organisms, or someone who rummages through garbage. At least that's what my X-Brain tells me. A liquid being researched at the Tokyo Institute of Infectious Diseases. Scavenger, looter, whatever. As long as it does whatever it's supposed to. Since the flexible veins aren't functioning, I have to deliver this thing to Sophia by hand. The city continues to collapse before my eyes. Buildings are falling left and right. Aw shit, gotta get a move on. Well, I didn't expect this to be an easy delivery. Immediately after I return to the moving walkway, a giant figure leaps down from a building to the side. You're still alive? I recognize this guy. If I'm not mistaken, is the bastard who was carrying the sunfish on the Yatsukoshi rooftop. But his head looks firmly attached to that fully armored body of his. I could have sworn Tokitaka blew it clean off.
あんたさ、死んだだろ。それともまさか双子の兄とか？
I don't think so, Ethika.
兄はいません。
It wasn't a serious question.
パブロフと言います。スカベンジャーを渡してもらいます。
So he knows about this stuff, huh?
よこせって言われるとあげたくなくなるんだよね。
I tuck the glowing violet ampule of scavenger into my coat and rev up my rabbit punch.
どいてくんねえかな。
断ります。
邪魔されるとますます通りたくなるんだよね、私。
Rabbit Punch roars in delight as its ultra-hard polycrystalline diamond blade attacks. Man, at this point, I'm so used to saying the polycrystalline shit that it doesn't even faze me. Wait, I missed? 1, 2, 3. The blade whiffs through thin air. Damn it. This fucker's pretty nimble given his size. Whatever. If you want to keep hopping like a rabbit, be my guest. The conveyor belt's heading where I need to go. If the clock runs out, I win by default. Wait, what? A shiver runs down my spine. I instinctively leap backwards, narrowly dodging the wires shooting out of his arm. Do I smell something burning? Oh shit, that wire's hot as hell! Just grazing my bulletproof coat was enough to burn through it. Huh? Oh shit, I dropped it! Slapped by the wire, the ampule flies off the conveyor belt and heads to the slow lane. The sudden change in speed nearly throws me off balance as I rush toward it, but... Pavlov's giant body blocks the way. He wrapped his wire around an overhead flexible vein, affording him the momentum to head me off. He drops onto the conveyor belt and brandishes the wires coming from his arms. They whip back and forth through the air like nunchucks. CNT wires, super strong threads made of carbon nanotubes, run an electric current through them, and they can burn straight through anything they touch through remote joule heating. Carbon nanotube wire, half the weight of aluminum, 20 times the strength of steel, both highly resistant and highly elastic, utilizes remote joule heating to sever, I think that's how you say that, right? Sever objects and opponents. Formidable weapons, but come on! I walk into the path of the swinging wires with Rabbit Punch at the ready. The teeth bite into one of the CNT wires, tearing it apart. The shining fragments scatter in the wind of the fast lane. Oh? Looks like a chainsaw is just the ticket here, huh? Are you sure he's not, you know... But Pavlov seems unperturbed. He probably has another weapon. He aims his fingers not at me, but at the scavenger ampule lying on the conveyor belt. He doesn't want to steal it. He wants to destroy it. An alert rings out from behind me. Is someone up there listening? I turn around to see a massive live material descending rapidly from above. Pavlov escapes with the CNT wire in his right arm. Can't squander this opportunity. I'm just going to trust my X-Brain that the debris won't hit me. I advance forward and reach for the scavenger. Just a bit more. Hey, cut that out! Stop getting in my way, damn it! The ampoule is whacked by one of his wires and rolls into the fast lane once again. I leap over the lump of life material blocking the conveyor belt and chase after it. Pavlov follows after it too, realizing that the pendulum motion of the wire won't be enough to catch up with the fast lane speed. I click my tongue as I watch the ampoule of scavenger continue on its way. I can't afford to focus all of my attention on the CNT wires chasing after me. The moving walkways entered the heart of the city. Clusters of life material are falling left and right. Pavlov and I cross blades as we chase each other around. We dance back and forth, left and right, as we avoid the falling life material. I have to dodge both his wires and the debris crashing down all around, all while chasing after the ampoule of scavenger. Fine by me. I always kicked ass at tag. If the falling debris weren't enough, the differing speed between lanes complicates things further. I'm not going to be able to keep thinking about what to do next. Whatever suggestions my X-Brain feeds me, I obey without hesitation. Just gotta trust it knows what to do. Cut, jump, run. Just a bit more. Pavlov cuts through a falling bridge and heads me off. A CNT wire comes for my neck. I cut the wire in two with my chainsaw. Only for him to grab me by the neck instead. This was probably what he was going for to begin with. I desperately struggle, but Pavlov doesn't budge at all. My consciousness starts to fade. I managed to thrust Rabbit Punch at him with my free right hand. This sure ain't the time to be holding back. Overheat mode, let's go! Forcing myself to maintain consciousness, I stare at the flying sparks. How is he still alive? Did he replace his skull with metal parts? No, there's gotta be more to it than that. My chainsaw cuts off the top of his head. But what's inside isn't brains, just metal parts. So that's how he was able to survive Tokitaka's headshots. The blood oozing from the seams means he's probably not a complete android or anything, but... Ugh! I can't hold on any longer. Yeah, so this is the, the voice, that did Ryoko. Having lost his head, Pavlov's voice plays from a speaker somewhere in his body. His hand squeezed tighter around my neck, and I hear a sickening crack. My consciousness fades. Overheat mode reaches its limit. Unable to bear the resistance, Rabbit Punch's ultra-hard polycrystalline diamond tooth chain snaps. I'm sorry, Kiri. I can't hold on. The end. Ryoko? My blood boils with rage. My heart starts pounding. The world comes into focus once more. I haven't forgotten that look on Ryoko's face. I can't let the bastard who put her through all that get off scot-free. Hell yeah, X-Brain. I gotta give you props for that one. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, and a wire for a wire. I toss Rabbit Punch away. What's left in my hand is the ultra-hard polycrystalline diamond tooth chain that snapped during overheat mode. I wrap it around one of the arms that's wringing out my neck. I sink the chain into the gap in his combat uniform and yank on it with every ounce of strength I have. I'm not expecting to actually sever his arm. Just distracting him is good enough. The unexpected counterattack causes his grip on my neck to slacken ever so slightly. I don't let the chance pass me by. I kick Pavlov's body away at full force. It feels like my spine's getting yanked out of my neck, but I grin and bear it. The head's like 10% of the human body weight or something. Losing that much at once is gonna make it hard to maintain your balance. Just as I thought, Pavlov starts staggering. Here's my chance. So did he like put his brain somewhere else or something? Get mad, Etika. Flex those muscles. So what if the footing's unstable? I don't give a micron of a fuck. I let my violent urges take control of my body and spin him around with all my might. I use every muscle in my body to put Pavlov's body into a giant swing, even though he must be twice as big as me. He's like a lead balloon at the start, but I make use of the difference in speed between the lanes to get his body into the air. It's a piece of cake from there. Faster and faster, higher and higher. As the fast lane reaches a corner, I let go of his legs. The faceless giant flies in a parabolic arc, heading directly for a pile of debris. Just keep flying to the end of the world, pal. A blue bolt lashes out just before impact. I immediately roll onto the belt, dodging the CNT wire. Gotta admit, that was impressive. I track the wire as it continues past me. It just so happens to hit the ampule of Scavenger. Wait, what? All that effort and we still lost the Scavenger? Once Etika contacts Ichihara Tokitaka, he takes position by the wall. Once he confirms his trusty Ogasawara TFD-20 is working properly, he links it to his X-Brain via wire. Precision sniping leaves no room for even a millisecond of latency. The slightest amount of lag can prove fatal. As the town collapses before his eyes, he searches through it with his customized spotter X-Brain. He's already confirmed the location of Kara Suzumi Ryoko, the one woman in all the world who he loves, the target who he must re-kill. His hands quiver as he holds the rifle. Tokitaka takes several deep breaths, attempting to calm his emotions, the most overwhelming of which is regret. How did he not realize sooner that something was off? He knows when it must have happened. The day he and Ryoko had sex in the living room. He lost contact with her for some period of time shortly afterward. Ever since then, he has found himself unable to become aroused by her. In hindsight, it's all too clear. The security system at the agency wasn't functioning properly that day, was it? If only he had paid more attention. Yeah, that was actually when Pavlov went there too. I guess it all makes sense. Oops. Tokitaka surveys the streets below, forcing the regrets from his mind. The corrupted, dusky red Tokyo megafloat is sinking. It's to be expected. The life materials stop functioning. Hordes of energy elites crawl on top of each other as they rush to evacuate. Aso Kiriri leads them from the front, accompanied by SAD troops. From this height, Tokitaka has a clear picture of the status of the evacuation efforts. Thank God for Kiriri. There will doubtless be some casualties, but thanks to her, the vast majority of the megafloat's residents should make it to safety. But if there is a god of salvation, then there must also be a god of damnation. Tokitaka returns his focus to the task at hand. The sniper's creed is one shot, one hit. The megafloat shakes incessantly, racked by shockwaves big and small. It would not be an exaggeration to call these the worst possible conditions for sniping. But nevertheless, Tokitaka gathers his concentration, waiting for the time to come. Normally, firing while prone is ideal for sniping, but Tokitaka maintains a standing position. While reinforced bodysuits can control the trembling of the body, no stabilizer can compete against solid ground. But it's a different story if the solid ground itself is trembling. Tokitaka's X-Brain synchronizes with his reinforced bodysuit. It starts to absorb the trembling of the Tokyo megafloat. It'll take some time before it finishes reading the pattern of oscillation. Tokitaka thinks to himself, the oscillation is soft. Smart material fluidly changes shape in response to electric stimulation. But in its inert state, it is relatively hard. If a town made of metal were to sink, it wouldn't have an oscillation pattern like this. As a sniper, Tokitaka has fought against involuntary muscle spasms and irregular heartbeats time and time again. He can recognize their patterns. The oscillation pattern of the sinking town is almost like that of a living being. The spasms of a dying creature. As soon as the idea crosses Tokitaka's mind, his ex-brain begins to make deductions based on that premise, smoothing out his stance. Tokitaka mentally prepares himself and chases after the signal. He easily finds his target. Kara Suzumi Ryoko is being carried by a giant forged in the likeness of a centaur. There's a gas being emitted from a large unit on the giant's back. It must be Lemur's gas. Ethica's conjecture has proven correct. The giant hi-fi carrying Ryoko as it gallops through the sinking streets. Tokitaka recognizes it for what it truly is. A cold wind blows through the window. Ichihara Tokitaka's father was a necromancer, which is why he despised him. Defiling the dead to make money. Had he no shame? He swore he would never stoop to his father's level, even if it meant dying. It was not until his father was killed that Tokitaka learned just how much he had relied on him. A living dead stalker barged into their home and ended his father's life without so much as giving him a chance to defend himself. Tokitaka was orphaned and cast out onto the streets of Tokyo. Every day was a life and death struggle. Cold winds and hunger pangs gnawed away at him. Theft is only means of acquiring sustenance. All the while, he searched for the living dead stalker who killed his father. You know, they probably had to put this in Tokitaka's story because there's no way that a sniper is going to be going head-on against the enemy, right? So that's why they actually put a flashback for him instead. To take his revenge? Or to give his thanks? Even he did not know the answer for sure. Tokitaka tirelessly sought after the man, driven by unclear emotions. Eventually, he found him. He was the boss of a living stalker agency, and he would change Tokitaka's life. He reduced the young Tokitaka to a pulp without hesitation, laughing all the while. He commanded Tokitaka to live with him at the agency, saying that he would look after him from now on, that he would train him in CQAMA. That man was Karasuzumi Katsu. Tokitaka couldn't understand him. He was the very incarnation of violence, a ruthless killer, his sworn enemy, and yet, also his benefactor. Tokitaka feared him, hated him, envied him, aspired to be like him. Just what exactly was Karasuzumi Katsu? Tokitaka could not comprehend him. But what could he comprehend was the love and affection displayed by his wife, Ryoko. For the first time, Tokitaka felt as if he were wanted, as if he were part of a family. She was the one who tended to his wounds after his first encounter with Ikatsu. The one who taught him that it was okay to cry. The mother he never knew. But Tokitaka wanted more than that. He wanted to have her not just as a mother, but as a woman. He wanted to treat him not as a son, but as a man. Dude, what aren't you at like 12 or something at this point? You're sick, Tokitaka. Ryoko only had eyes for Karasuzumi Katsu, that insurmountable wall of a man, and yet Tokitaka wanted to make her his. Tokitaka bowed his head to Karasuzumi Katsu, the man who killed his father. Teach me close quarters armed martial arts so that I can kill you, he begged. Upon hearing that, Ikatsu gave a hearty laugh and said, "Feel free to kill me anytime, kiddo." That was the sort of man Karasuzumi Katsu was. There must be like a route where Ikatsu gets more characterization. He sounds like a fucking ridiculous dude. He taught Tokitaka everything he knew, knowing full well that his pupil intended to kill him with these very skills. Tokitaka spent sleepless nights training, not to avenge his father, not to defeat Kara Suzumi Ikatsu, but to make Kara Suzumi Ryoko see him as a man. However, Ikatsu died before he could accomplish that goal. Milgram killed him. After Ikatsu's death, Ryoko continued to take care of her family as if nothing had happened. She acted as if she had gotten over Ikatsu's death. But Tokitaka knew. Ryoko was bewitched by a dead man, possessed by the ghost of her late husband. Tokitaka would never surpass Kara Suzumi Ikatsu. After all, you cannot kill the dead. He accepted that, or at least, convinced himself that he had. But now, Ikatsu has returned. As a quadrupedal hi-fi living dead. This is Ikatsu, really? Tokitaka aims his rifle at the back of what used to be Kara Suzumi Ikatsu. On his back is a data source that will greatly increase sniping accuracy. A wall-penetrating thermal imaging device that Ethica planted earlier. I guess every enemy is like, tied to their characters. Except for Ethica. Ethica actually didn't really have any ties to Pavlov. Tokitaka became a sniper for one very simple reason. He would not be able to defeat Ikatsu with his own techniques. His X-brain has cancelled out the oscillation of the megafloat. Wind and gravity are both non-issues. Kara Suzumi Ikatsu reaches out to his wife. Kara Suzumi Ryoko smiles at her husband. Not even the sight of that can hinder him now. He counts his heartbeats, takes a deep breath, and slides his finger onto the trigger. It's time for him to settle this. Not to avenge his father. Not to defeat Kara Suzumi Ikatsu. Not to make Kara Suzumi Ryoko see him as a man. But for his own sake. He fires. The bullet cuts through the air, striking its target. Ikatsu's head explodes, leaving dead, re-killed. Ryoko doesn't look at Tokitaka. She doesn't fear his rifle. She buries her face into the dusky red remains of Ikatsu's head. She embraces his body, making no attempt to escape. Tokitaka's body moves on its own. Please kill me. That was Ryoko's final order. And Ryoko's orders are absolute. Kill the dead. If the woman you love is dead, then kill her too. If it's for the woman he loves, he would even kill his own heart. His aim is perfect, even through the tears. Damn, that was actually really sad. I did not expect that one to be Ikatsu, though. I guess in another route, there must be also a hi-fi living dead that's someone's dad, right? Milgram's headless body lies on the floor. So ends the necromancer who killed me. The debt has been repaid. I return my re-eliminator to its holster and turn around. Iria trembles. Her usual smile is nowhere to be found. My heart hurts, even if it's just an empty hole. I defeated Milgram by shooting a hole through my own chest. A feat that should be impossible for any normal human. I have to tell her the truth.
ごめん、イリア。こんな形で告白することになるとは思わなかった。できればもっとちゃんと伝えたかった。今の僕は。
おーい!
I lose my chance to tell her the truth.
みんな、ぶちか!
I mean, you can still force yourself to tell her the truth right now. Fuck Ethica. Right?
イリアは無事だ。スカベンジャーは
Sophia rushes towards Ethica.
スカベンジャー。
ソフィアに持ってくるように言われてね。これでいいのか?
Ethica holds out a purple liquid in a glass vial, but It drops to the floor and shatters. The reason is obvious.
私手が 切れ
Sophia suddenly shouts,
左腕を切断しろ
I don't understand what just happened. And I doubt Etika knows either. But the expert makes its decision. Understanding that something abnormal is going on, Etika does as instructed with a hesitation. I thought that was supposed to be a vaccine. Is that actually the virus? She picks up a bayonet from a fallen SAD soldier and swings it down hard at her own arm. Etika's amputated arm falls to the floor and immediately loses its form, melting into a black liquid. My brain can't keep up with what's happening.
あの液体はスカベンジャー
Sophia says, a resigned look on her face.
遺伝子改良されたバクテリアで免疫機能の切れた人間の死体を食らい尽くす
Etika is also a living dead. I knew it.
それはつまり
See, like I said. I already know the answer. We both got killed. Someone reanimated us. It must be Etika's dad. I look at the stump of the arm Etika amputated. Out drips dusky red blood, the mark of the living dead.
いやいや
I can do nothing but watch from afar as Iria collapses to the ground. Her scream is swallowed up by the noise of the collapsing megafloat.